Let's go! LSU football second half spring game film study. Once again, it's just a spring game. If you're not a diehard LSU football fan, don't watch. We're breaking down the nitty-gritty, each and every player on each and every play. And obviously, no kickoff coverage units in spring games, which is another reason why you need an actual scrimmage so you can actually, go through those things. So, here's TJ Finley. He's getting to work with the ones, all right? And it's funny. Whenever I talk about TJ, it's either people saying that I'm too hard or it's either people saying you're way too easy on him. He's horrible. So let's actually see how he does with the ones. Okay. Let's bring it back here. All right, so 7 guys in the box against these 6 guys. So we're already outnumbered here. This is a safety lined up here, and then Kardell Thomas in the nickel. So what I would like to see LSU do whenever they see something like this, let's check into a pass. If the box is this heavy, it's just too many guys to block, and that is exactly what happens. This isn't the worst here for Maason washing this guy upfield. Decent penetration, though, by Joseph Evans. And, look, Cole Taylor blocking Sony Fanua. If you are a Cole Taylor guy, if you're a big fan of his, he's out of Grand Junction, Colorado, 6'7" tight end. If you are a diehard fan, look, he's not an elite receiver, and full disclosure, I didn't share this from the first half film study. Look, he missed a pass that should have been caught. It would have been a difficult catch, but you're the LSU tight end. The best athletes go here. It was a 50-50 ball, and he should have made that catch. So, to each their own. I do think Cole Taylor here, this is a backup defensive end, Sony Fanua. So you're going to be going up against a lot of defensive ends. Cole Taylor gets blown into pretty bad, and that's just too much penetration. Because, look, his job here is to make sure this guy doesn't get inside of him. I know it sounds so weird when you say that in football. We did that with McLaughlin and Kayshawn last week. But you don't want this guy beating you to the inside, because the point of this run is to go this way. So Cole Taylor does a good job of that, but what Sony Fanua is doing is squeezing this gap as tight as he could while also keeping outside contained. Cole Taylor here gives up too much ground. Austin Deculus also gives up too much ground, and he does do, once again, a decent job of washing Joseph Evans so far upfield. But because there's so much penetration, once again, Sony Fanua had a really, really, really good day. And that's just really elite defensive end play right there from Sony Fanua. And Jordan Tolles does a good job cleaning it up. So let's just go back here on first down and break this all down yet again. Once again, 7 guys in the box versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. So we're already at a disadvantage numbers-wise down here. And this is just not a good first down play. Once again, I like when TJ Finley is in the game when LSU throws the football on first down. If you go back and watch TJ's games from last year, the offense was better when he was throwing on first down. Steve Ensminger did a pretty good job of that. I know this is the first play of the half. I thought Jake Peetz called a good spring game overall, but the analytics committee has talked. The analytics community has been talking about this as well. Analytically, according to NFL studies, throws on first downs have been proven to be more productive than runs on first downs. And, the defense here is playing run all the way through. So you don't see this on the all 22. There's just, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's only one safety up high. So no matter what, there's no way they're going to be able to guard any of these guys, all of these guys, over the top in this situation, and unless Jordan Tolles bails out of here. So once again, you see, this is just destruction, and not too great of a job here from Liam Shanahan on the backside. Neil Farrell does a good job scraping down. That's just really good run defense. And so let's see what happens here on 2nd and 11. All right, we have some motion. Looks as if this is going to be zone coverage pre-snap because the corner is shading the receiver to the inside. It's just, let's see what happens here. Good pitch and catch. Well done by TJ. Find the matchup, wide receiver versus linebacker, and let's make it a manageable 3rd down. So this is good quarterbacking here from TJ. After a bad first down play, let's see if we could pick it up in the second half. And once again, you see the stats up to this point. So I got to keep bringing this up. So if you didn't watch the film study from the first game, this is never going to be the case in an actual game. When you run 5 wide receiver sets, you're never going to just have, sometimes you'll have it, but because LSU wasn't blitzing and the quarterbacks knew that they weren't blitzing and the offensive line knew that they weren't blitzing, normally there's going to be some linebackers and some defensive backs up here on the line of scrimmage to potentially show blitz. And as an offensive lineman in 5-man protection, it becomes really difficult to decipher that. So once again, the LSU offensive line is at a clear advantage than what they normally would have against any defense, which means the offensive line struggling to protect is an even bigger issue because this is not what they're normally going to see. And this was actually really good protection here. And like I said, so Jontre Kirkland has a really good first half. Let's give him an opportunity to run with the ones in the second half. And this is just really good play from Jontre. And we don't have the all-22. It's kind of tough to see. But like we mentioned in our video on Monday with Jontre Kirkland, he has such high football IQ. He's so good at finding these spots in the zone defense. Let's move along here. So TJ Finley has some positive momentum. We stay in 5 wide. So now we're throwing on first down. Let's see what happens. I honestly don't remember. This is my first time rewatching the second half. Good stuff yet again. Jontre finds a weak spot. And that's just easy pitch and catch. Josh White, or this is Damon Clark, playing that far off. And this was something Eric Gilbert did a lot of last season. When you catch the football, just go upfield. Don't give ground, because now you give him an opportunity to tackle you. If he would have just gone upfield, that would have been a tough tackle for Damon Clark to make in the open field. But it's still hard to be on Jontre Kirkland when he had 16 freaking catches in the spring game. And we move on here to 2nd and 8. So it's 2 yards instead of 4, 6, or whatever it would have been there. Maybe even more. We're still in 5 wide set. Defense still playing very soft. So we need really good pass protection. And let's see if we get it. And we do. And it's Dwight McGlothern making yet another play. So let's see what happens here. I think we get if I remember correctly, I think we get a replay. We do. All right. That's just a good play. Let's see. And they tried this exact play with Myles earlier. And this is, the problem. The defense sees it in practice. It's a little bit easier to just drive down. Good play by McGlothern. Sets up 3rd and 8. It was a good throw by TJ. Stared him down a little too much. But we move on. Still, if you're Jure Jenkins, you have to catch it. Good protection again. Good catch again. Love it. Jontre making another nice play. And then TJ, I mean, this is just his arm talent right here. Once again, Dare Rosenthal really did a good job on Ojulari this game. Not the prettiest mechanics here, but the good thing is TJ going through his reads. He's looking at Jure, and then he's looking at Kayshawn to see if he's open. And then he finally finds Jontre. Good playmaking there from TJ. So it's 4th and 1. It's Coy Moore. And it's stuffed. Blake Baker fired up. LSU defense fired up. So, look. I don't know how many more times I'm going to have to say this. And I understand Jake Peetz is new. But this is the same thing they tried to do last season. And it just doesn't work. Bring in a wide receiver so he could stay in 11 personnel tight. Last year, this was Terrace Marshall versus Missouri, and you're running this play with the wide receiver once again. You know, does a running back actually make this play? I don't know. But when you tighten up, it just brings more guys into the box, and it lets this defense know that more than likely Jontre's not going out on a route. And let's see where the mistake was made. I think this is more of just a design flaw. It just doesn't work. The short yardage situation, you could just see it. And teams just look. Damon Clark is already running downfield. He's got a head start. This is Damon Clark's specialty, brute strength, and you see he's just pushing guys back, and he gets through here and makes this play. A wide variety of Tigers just in there. We just need to get this play out of the playbook. And honestly, maybe one thing you can do is just keep it, and then it's TJ versus Kardell Thomas, one-on-one for 1 yard. But this is the same play that we saw against Missouri and Mississippi State. Normally this is TDP. It just doesn't work. And Jared Small in there making the play. So, look. This was TJ's best drive. I mean, he made a lot of stuff happen on this drive. And, it's just bad LSU short yardage. And it's got to get fixed. Defense fired up. Loving the energy here. So now it's Max Johnson with the 2s. Nick Demas on the carry. Let's see what happens here. Once again, this is I would guess, 8th string running back. I was shocked to not see. I would have really liked to have seen Corn Norman in this game. And I've never seen Corn Norman play. But I was hearing Ed Orgeron say Corn Norman he was getting 30 carries in all the other scrimmages. And for him to not get for him being injured or whatever the reason, for him to not get his opportunity to play in front of everyone, this might be the only time he gets to play in front of, LSU fans. And I hate that he didn't get his opportunity. I don't know the reason why he wasn't there. I get a nice run on first down. Let's see. I think this is Thomas Perry, Marlon Martinez, Xavier Hill, Kardell, and Doomerville. Good job by Kardell getting play side. Good double. Good job by the center washing this over-penetrating defensive tackle. All we need Demas to do is beat this backside in. He does. And we get a good run on first down. And then good hustle by Jaquelin Roy. He didn't get the best get off, but he was able to make the tackle. All right. So now we get a decent 3-yard gain there on first down. 2nd and 7. Good throw. Maybe this is a connection you see during the season. Deion Smith versus Derek Davis Jr. Well, actually, this was Deion Smith versus Ray Darius Jones. Looks like there was a coverage mishap of some sort. Let's see. Is this on the safety? All right. Looks like man coverage on this side. I would guess. Let's see. It's kind of tough to say. We'll move on, but a good throw. We've got a little bit of a wider angle here. It's Demas again on first down. Good job by Josh White reading this early. All right, let's see what happens here. Dumerville. That was on him. So, yeah, it was on Dumerville. So Dumerville, your right tackle, on this play is pulling around this side, and his job is to block this backer. And honestly, it's not that tough of a block. Hey, babe. Oh, look, she brought me a cerveza. Tell everyone how you're enjoying the move. Ha. Lay you. Cerveza for the film studies tonight. Let me know what y'all are drinking in the chat. So crisp, baby. You know what's funny? And this is, me being dead on. I've not had beer in a while. I've been drinking seltzers, but I had these beers left over, and I want y'all to see. I got this off, I think, Amazon for $4. Look at this koozie. Anyway, let's get back to talking about pulling right tackles because we're serious football film nerds. Look, the design of this play is pretty simple. So this guy's blocking down, getting to the second level. This guy's helping get this double team. And Kardell's job, Kardell actually had a decent spring game overall. His job is to kick out this end right here, and Marcus Dumerville has a difficult block to make, but it's not the hardest block. We just got to make sure we seal this backer. So we get a good push. We're getting double team. Guillory's getting washed out of there pretty well. Xavier Hill, it's his job to get to this backside backer right here. And what we need is Marcus Dumerville to meet this guy head on. Okay? And what does he do? Well, he whiffs him. You got to like this matchup. An offensive tackle. Once again, this is only year 2 for Dumerville. All right? And this is Josh White, year 2. These are two guys hungry. Kardell Thomas, year 2, or year 3. Really year 2 if the injury year doesn't count. So we need Marcus Dumerville to blow the brakes off of Josh White, okay? We got a clear size advantage. Dumerville is a fleet-of-foot athlete. And notice he just whiffs him. If we clear this guy out, we're getting 3 or 4 yards. Instead, we're getting nothing. Solo tackle. Instead, our run blocking continues to suffer. And here's something that's interesting. Ed Orgeron stood, and a lot of coaches do this during the spring game, normally on the sideline, but he's behind the play. So he's really able to see the offensive and defensive lines operate from this angle. Here's Eric Taylor playing a lot of defensive end in this game. Very interesting. 2nd and 9. It should be 2nd and 6, but we missed a few blocks. And Dumerville again. He just gets beat to the inside. So this is something we talked about in the initial film study. So what Durante Jones has done, and this is very interesting, and I saw this pattern in the first half, and this is about to get really kind of sort of technical, but not so much. So if LSU's going to play a 4-man front, one thing that they did not do with Bill Johnson and Bo Pelini last year was they never stemmed their defensive line. And what a stem basically is they initially line up, as a traditional 4-man front. So here's what happens here, okay? on 2nd and 10s, or 2nd and 9 in this case, but in our last film study, they did this twice. They stemmed their defensive line. So notice, and it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but Eric Taylor, who's a defensive tackle playing defensive end, is on the outside shoulder of Marcus Dumervil, the offensive tackle. This defensive tackle right here, Jaquelin Roy, is on the outside shoulder of Kardell Thomas. In this backside A-gap, you have Jacobian Guillory. Then you have, I believe, Desmond Little here. But watch what happens. Antoine Sampa checks, and he says, we're going to stem this guy down into the B-gap, all right? So in this B-gap, Eric Taylor this is now his responsibility. So just a second ago, you saw him on the outside shoulder of Dumervil. Now he's on the inside shoulder. Now Jaquelin Roy is in this A-gap. And what this basically is a three-man front. This is a typical Dave Aranda type of set. So normally, ironically, this was the number Rashard Lawrence wore. Rashard Lawrence would be one defensive tackle, and then this would be Tyler Shelvin, and this would be Braden Fiocco or Neil Farrell or whoever. And what we're doing is by tightening these guys is we are not surrendering inside runs. And we're going to allow our backers to keep contained. We'll allow this backer to do it, and we'll allow this defensive end. And what this does is, number one, it helps protect against the run while also spreading your backers and nickels out here to guard your wide receivers on the outside. All right, so that's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is it causes confusion up front. It slightly changes your blocking assignments. And what happens here is Marcus Dumervil in pass protection, this is a miscommunication, and this is something that you want to see the LSU offensive line to do a better job of, and I know these are the backups, but once this guy stems inside, and I'm not on the field, I don't have access to mics or anything like that, you want to hear Kardell saying, okay, this guy going down, just some form of communication here, but we don't get that here, and what you're going to see is Eric Taylor is going to be basically left unblocked here, okay? And Marcus Dumervil washes him inside, and he just gets beat. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if he thought that he now has this guy on a blitz or whatever, but Dumervil just gets beat really badly here to the inside, and this simply can't happen. But what changed this is this stem. This stem causes issues for inexperienced offensive lines. And Dumervil gets beat on the inside. So he misses a pull on first down, and then he misses this guy on second down. Now, full disclosure, I like Marcus Dumervil. St. Thomas Aquinas High School. It's got a lot of talent. I also know his father watches our content. Look, this is not criticism. This is just how I'm seeing it. I want all these guys to do well, but this is just stuff that we've got to fix. And this backup offensive line overall was very inconsistent. So, let's see if LSU fixes this issue. And Max Johnson was in this situation a lot in the first half. 3rd and a mile, okay? So, here's the thing. We're not going to pick this first down up, okay? It's going to take a miracle to pick up this first down. Or so we thought. 3rd and 19. What happened here? Carter Sheridan, analyst, getting hype. And you could see it from this angle. Once again, this is a spring game, and it's better to let this happen in a spring game. So, 3rd and 19. All right? What is the one thing you should not do as a defense? Get beat deep. All right? So, if you're a defender and you're reading this, you notice One of these wide receivers is tight end Jack Mashburn, who's a backup. Nick Demas is a backup, all right? So, it's 3rd and 19. I don't mind if these guys catch the football 15 yards deep. I'm just not going to let any of these real playmakers on the outside, Alex Adams, Jontre Kirkland, and Deion Smith, make a play. All right, so first thing is, this is something, and I got to shout market sound, and we've been talking about this nonstop. First thing we do, our offensive lines have been struggling. So what does Jake Peetz do? To help out the Marcus Doomervilles of the world, we're going to chip with our backups, all right? So, essentially, these are 3 wide receivers going up against 7 defensive backs. I like chipping, especially if our tackles aren't the absolute best, okay? We chip these guys, and we slightly help out protection. Jaquelin Roy actually does a really good job here, because what this actually is a stunt. It's a twist stunt, and what Xavier Hill has to do is pick up this stunt. Notice Doomerville destroys his defensive end. Thankful for the hip. Kardell Thomas does a good job, good communication here, and this is not bad. This is not bad at all. All right? So Max Johnson says, look, I'm just going to fling this thing up. It's a spring game. All right? It looks like it's bad protection. But in actuality, Max Johnson probably dropped back a little too deep here. All right? Because when you get this far back, you need to just sprint up and step up into the pocket. Either way, he does a good job buying time. You got to go back pre-snap, all right? Now, here's the guy that ends up getting beat, all right? Derek Davis Jr. And Jake Peetz is going to attack, obviously, a true freshman safety. You know the old adage, don't get beat deep in this situation. Keep everything in front of you. So, if you're reading this pre-snap, the 2 guys you don't mind getting the football is the backup tight end and the running back here. All right? So let's not let these 3 guys beat our 7 guys in coverage, but that is exactly what happened here with Derek Davis Jr., and he's got to make this play. And this is just a 6-year senior just dominating a true freshman. So, Trey Palmer getting hyped, Carter Sheridan, the analyst, as we mentioned. So you'll see what happens here. Derek Davis Jr. obviously locked in on Deion Smith. Okay? And he shouldn't have been. All right? We were in quarters, it seems. Or, let's see, that is Cam Lewis. Cover 3 or whatever. Bottom line, once again, it's really hard to see from here. Derek Davis Jr. is keyed in on Deion Smith, and essentially what happens is Jontre runs right behind him, and this is not the position you want to be in. Okay, you want to keep it in front of you, all right? And he still had an opportunity to make a play, and Jontre just makes one whale of a catch. Doesn't even fall, the balance and the spike. I don't care about the spike. Here we go, Max, fired up. Getting the sideline hype. I'm loving it, baby. I'm loving it. Go, Max. Jontre already got the white uniform on.
Really quickly, I've gone back and forth on dissecting this play. And, if you're Max Johnson, I don't mind taking a shot because it's 3rd and 19. If you think a guy deep can make a play on the football, go on ahead and throw it. Because if the other player intercepts it, it's just a touchback. Or, if you go back and watch the play, and you've watched it plenty of times over, this was a point we made in the first half, you can always check down to, the guys that chipped, Mashburn or Demas, and then that'll make it a more reasonable field goal attempt for Cade York. But that's the genius of Cade York. He has such a big leg that you can take a shot and still have a chance at a super long field goal. Now, that would have been a super long field goal, But, a check down is not the worst thing. But if you are Max in that situation and you think you could throw the ball over the top of a safety and get a touchdown, it's well worth the risk. So I've gone back and forth on that. Coming up, we're going to do a film study on the little things. You heard this phrase all the time, the little things, the little things, the little things. And what you'll see here, and this is a screenshot of that play right here by Derek Davis Jr. and Jontre Kirkland. What's really fascinating is in this situation, what Derek Davis Jr. tries to do is intercept this football, and that obviously is a good thing. As a defensive back, you want to have interceptions because turnovers, leads to wins. But a turnover here is not the most important thing, because if you do intercept the football, you're going to catch it and fall at the 1 yard line or have a touchback at best. So the most important thing here is to understand as a defensive back, an interception is not as valuable as batting the football down, especially if you know you're more than likely not going to have a return. So if you're a safety on 3rd and 19 and there's a jump ball situation such as this one, maybe maybe intending to just bat the football down is the better thing to do, because the cost-benefit analysis is different than, let's say, a normal interception, or if this play was on 1st down or even 2nd down. But if it's 3rd and 19, just go for batting the football down, because obviously intercepting the football, especially if you're having to make a Willie Mays type of interception here, interception is highly unlikely. And also, if you do intercept it, you're not going to be in as good a field position as if you would have just batted the football down and forced a 4th and 19 punt or a really long field goal. So it's one of those weird situations.
Mickey Joseph coaching him up. Ollie Gay, Micah. Is that Micah Baskerville? No, that's Corin Norman. Andre Anthony. Extra point, backup kicker. Hopefully won't have to see him this year. Need a healthy Cade York. Once again, Max Johnson making a play. All right, TJ, we need you to respond. You had a great drive the last drive, all right? You got a little unlucky with the spot and a 4th down stop. What do you do? Same thing. These runs out of shotgun just do not work. We can't block it. We don't have the offensive lineman to block all these guys. And it's basically just the same thing. The safety comes up late, and we got to block these 8 guys in the box, or 7 guys in the box, and we just don't really get push once again. Now, here's something LSU decided to do. Okay, what if we put Nick Storrs in instead of Cole Taylor? What if Nick Storrs is a better blocker than Cole Taylor? Once again, Sony Fanua. I mean, this guy had one heck of a game. Look at how he sets this edge. He forces his play back inside, and he's ready to help the scraps. We're still not moving guys right here, and our defensive line's just getting whipped. This is Anthony Bradford. We were told he was going to be a difference maker. Look at Glenn Logan, that extension, just jacking him up, sitting in that gap. You can't, you just, trust me, I'm a former defensive tackle. You cannot play this any better than Glenn Logan just played it. Look at do you know those Rock'em Sock'em robots with that is exactly what's happening here. And look at this, just sitting. There's nowhere to go. Our guy's getting blown up right here. So what do you think pre-snap as a defensive end? You think maybe you're going to get a double team. Instead, we're just shooting. We're getting Nick Storrs to get a block right here. And this is Sony Fanua blowing this up. We're just, I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing here. Nothing. And what doesn't help is these defensive ends, and what's funny is, TJ was reading this backside in, and you could see Ojulari actually plays this really well. I mean, this is the best, and I haven't seen the rest of the half. Once again, full disclosure, this is the first time I'm doing a rewatch of the second half. This is the best defensive line run stop I've seen, and this is against a first-team offensive line in theory. Okay, I know we have Cam Wire in left tackle instead of Dare Rosenthal. I know we have Anthony Bradford, but in theory, we have 3 starters out here, and we're just not moving people. We're just not. Liam Shanahan loses his feet before he can get to the second level. We're just getting blown up. And Jared Small, look at the physicality on this guy. Look at this. Look at this. Boom! You see that? I mean, just look at this. Look at this pop. Boom! That's just great. That's just great. That is what I'm talking about. That's physical manhandling of an offensive line. And once again, TJ Finley is not a good quarterback, and a lot of quarterbacks aren't when you don't throw on first down. That's not the worst. Let's see if we get a replay on that. We don't. Let's see. This is not bad. At first, I thought TJ. No. Okay, so look at what we have pre-snap here. All right, Kardell Thomas, we have man coverage. Okay, and Jordan Tolles is going up against Coy Moore right here. All right, and you expect a wide receiver to separate from a safety. This is not Coy Moore's best day. Let's move on. And I like Coy. McLaughlin making another play. Let's see how pass pro was. It was good. Pass pro was good. What happens here? No, this is bad from TJ. You'll see here. So, once again, I don't have all 22, so it's really hard to evaluate this. Good pass protection. It's 3rd and 11, all right? So, here's what you have to do in 3rd and 11. We do not want to punt the football, but if we don't pick up this first down, you're going to punt the football, all right? So, this is not a case where you're at midfield or in plus territory where you're trying to get enough yards to get into field goal range. This is an all or nothing play. So as a quarterback, you have to go through your progressions if you have decent pass protection, which TJ Finley had here. And notice what happens. Okay, lock it in on one guy, hoping that he may or may not get open. All right? Jontre doesn't get open, all right? But he's not going to if you're staring him down, okay? So what happens here? Our best receiver is right here, all right? We need to look for him. And guess what happens? If he would have gone through his progressions instead of throwing this ball into heavy traffic, our best player over the middle for a first down. It's a missed throw. And look, it's a little bit easier to see, to say, because Damon Clark is reacting. Maybe that's a tight window if this ball is thrown this way. But you got to throw this ball to Kayshawn here. There's just nothing there, but Kayshawn was open there. So this was a miss from TJ. And, with the rapport that Maason, that exact route was a route that Max and Kayshawn feasted against Ole Miss, where they played off of Kayshawn and he ran that in route, and it was all day. So, once again, TJ was put in a bad position there, but he had an opportunity to deliver the football to our best player, and we couldn't do it. So it may not seem like it. Once again, I really like Garrett Nussmeier's energy. You saw this in the first film study. After Jontre fumbled in the first half, Garrett sprinted down the field to make sure Jontre was okay and told him to keep his head up. And look at this. Look at that. You just love to see that. So this is a little bit of what the Jake Peetz offense is going to look like if Max Johnson is your quarterback. So once again, Jontre Kirkland, football IQ. He is yelling to let or just pointing to let them know that now the box has changed, okay? The safety is run down into this box to where there's 7 guys in this box. We had been running on first down even when there's 7 guys in the box, okay? So what do? Play action out of it. Good job by Jack Mashburn getting this defensive end inside of him, okay? Once again, it sounds so weird, but it's true. Okay, we want this defensive end to go inside of us because we are, and what I mean by inside is forcing him inside instead of outside, because we want Max Johnson to get this edge, and this is, just good stuff. This is good stuff. This is a well-designed play. Max Johnson is left-handed. We're rolling him out to the left. Play action. We get the action. And look, we got these linebackers and safeties playing the run. And now, Max, this is what we want, okay? Now we're going down here. If nothing's open, we can just run, okay? Could he have fit this ball into Devonta Lee? Maybe. Wasn't really much separation here. Not a lot of... Maybe Lee needs to flatten this route out just a little bit. Just to create a little bit more space. But, once again, I'm not a receivers coach. I'm not Chad Ochocinco. But that's just good stuff. Good positive gain on first down. Sets up second down and 5. And that's the thing that Max Johnson gives you that TJ and Myles don't, is that ability. And it just creates pockets of space. And something else it does is it tires out the defense. Now, notice the personnel that's on the field, okay? Now Xavier Carter, who came in as a defensive end, is playing traditional linebacker. We've been seeing him in the drills playing this position. Phillip Webb, Jaquelin Roy, Jacobian Guillory, and Desmond Little here. Second down. Good job. Well done. This is the Max Johnson offense. Okay? We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go this way. Instead, it's a zone read. And he actually doesn't make the best decision here with the football. He probably should have handed this off. The defensive end didn't go with this run. So what he probably should have done is hand this football off. But still, look, the safety is crashing down on this run. And this is something he could do out of this. The next time Jake sees this and he sees the safety playing the run this heavy, let's keep it next time. And then, look, we got all pockets of space. Receivers can cut up, and this is what Max Johnson can do with your offense. So even though, and look, if you hand this football off to a decent running back, and if Clyde would have gotten this, he plants and he cuts in this space, and he's gone. Okay? Let's go. I'm glad you're enjoying this. If you're watching up to this point, flash, making sure you're awake out there, okay? If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it because there's obviously a lot more plays that we still got to break down, including this Alabama hat controversy. But if you are enjoying this and you're watching this on a premiere, hook us up with the Super Chat, a Venmo, a Cash App, and all, or whatever if it's in your heart. If you can't do that, obviously like the video
and share it with someone else because I wanted to include one extra little nugget. This exact run out of shotgun is the exact cut that Armoni Goodwin feasted in high school at Alabama. It was this exact type of run out of shotgun, planning and taking it to the house with his sub 11 100-meter dash speed. So if you are an Armoni Goodwin fan, maybe he would mesh well with Max Johnson because his high school film is just littered with this exact cut and this exact run. But let's get back to the film study. Let's go.
But either way, Max, a little razzle-dazzle. And look at all of this flow. Look at the offensive line right here. We have everybody sealed. This is the best blocked play of any second unit offensive line I've seen up to this point. And that's what a mobile quarterback does. These defensive linemen are tired because they just had to chase Max Johnson down on first down. So now on second down, we're doing the same action, and it just makes it easier because what a mobile quarterback does is it forces these defensive linemen to play a little bit more on their heels. They can't get as quick downfield, and boom, plant, get upfield. And Max is not the most dynamic runner, but just because he gives you that threat, you get that. I mean, even all Phillip Webb has to do is touch Max Johnson and this play's dead. And look at how difficult that is. And Phillip Webb is one of the better athletes on the team that play defensive end. And look at what he did to him. That's just filthy stuff. Good stuff. So now we're rolling, baby. 2 runs, 2 first downs. Garrett Nussmeier, I like that they say his hometown is Lake Charles, Louisiana. I love it. He's not a Texas boy. He's a Louisiana boy. Let's go. So now Max is cooking. He's cooking right now. By far his best drive of the day. Okay? So I shared this in the live stream that this was the best throw of the second half. The best throw of the first half was by Garrett Nussmeier. That was, of course, fumbled by Jontre Kirkland. But this right here is such elite quarterback play. And once again, I always say this, plays do not exist in a vacuum. You're going to hear me say this on a lot of film studies. They just do not exist in a vacuum because the runs that Max Johnson had on the last 2 drives, it has the defense tired. It has them guessing. Look, on first and second, on these last 2 plays, we've seen play action. So is he going to hand it off? Is he going to keep it? Is he going to run it? So watch what happens here. Play action again. All right. Notice, the safeties don't really bite on it, okay? But Max Johnson waits for Jontre to clear. He sees that he's up against Cam Lewis, the safety, and he lets his play develop. And, we pointed this out. Garrett Nussmeier had Alex Adams wide open for a deep touchdown in our first film study. Alex Adams has some verticality to his games. Because, look, this vertical route opens up the space. And I think this is Xavier Fountain. What actually happens here is Fountain reads this. His job is Demas, the running back. Better defensive backs don't get in the way of other defensive backs. And that's part of the reason why Jontre was able to get open here, because Cam Lewis, who's a safety, you'll see here, Max sees this pre-snap, all right? And Nick Saban was talking about, a coach asked him in an interview, how do we defend trips bunch? And Nick Saban was breaking down all the different ways you can defend trips bunch like this. And obviously Nick Saban's really passionate about it because This was a formation that LSU destroyed Alabama with in 2019. Normally, what defenses do versus trips bunch is they don't have all their guys playing this soft. And the reason why they don't is because if these guys are running such different routes, it creates conflict. It creates a lot of traffic. And that's what happens here. Fountain, his job is to guard Nick Demas in the flat. He's late on doing that, and he gets in the way of Cam Lewis. Jontre runs a good route. You can see Jontre with his right arm defends, gets a little extra separation. And look at this throw. Right over the top of both of them. Couldn't throw it any better than that. And is that Xavier Fountain? Yes, I think so. All right. Just a beautiful throw. Once again, Max Johnson's ability to run, setting things up here. Now can we finish the drive? Can we finish? Good catch. Got to catch it cleanly, though. By not catching it cleanly, cost us a yard here. But good job, Devonta Lee, getting this catch on Darren Evans, okay? So let's keep this train moving. 4 plays in a row. We have success. And good, we get the end zone camera view of this play. Let's see. Play action. Good throw, good catch, good route. Devonta Lee, big target. 2nd and 3, throwing on first down. And that's just a beautiful drive. Probably the best drive of the day was this one. And it's Jontre again on Derek Davis Jr. And this is what happens when you have a 22, 23-year-old going up a guy that should be at prom. And legit, Derek Davis Jr. should be at prom right now. And believe it or not, we're talking about this live stream. We're talking about this on our live stream. This is an Alabama play. And now, the more I watch it, this is a play that the Alabama Crimson Tide ran a lot. And they ran it successfully against LSU, or something very similar to that. So this is what's interesting. This was a motion that Alabama did a lot of, and I'm going to bring it back here. So normally this would be Devonta Smith, and what Devonta Smith would do is they would run this motion and they would throw it to Devonta Smith right here in the flat. Okay? So I just wanted to show you that pre-snap where this wide receiver is at running back with the running back. So now there's 2 guys in the backfield. And this is essentially what happens, okay? So, you got Devonta Lee running this way. And all these are just deep crossers, okay? So, got that. Now, this is where it becomes complicated. Okay, these deep crossers. This guy in man coverage is still running with Devonta Lee. Max Johnson does a good job here of looking this off. And notice, he's looking this way, all right? Holding this safety here. Our guy, Derek Davis Jr., true freshman, I love him. I think he can start next season if everything were to fall the way it's going to fall. It's not looking his way right now, but year 2 could be a starter in Durante Jones's defense. So, Max looks left, allows these routes to clear out, and all it is a foot race this way. And Alabama ran a lot of this action, and the guy, it would be Jaleel Billingsley, their tight end, who would oftentimes be the guy running wide open. And this is what these deep crossers do. Jontre, nobody close. That's basically a free touchdown right there. Okay? So, what did I say just a second ago? Plays do not exist in a vacuum. First down, we get a nice little run to the left side. All right, with Max Johnson. Then second down, we get a play action. Hey, What's that?
Brennan needs to go out.
Brennan needs to go out? Okay, let me finish breaking down this play, and then we'll get back. Second down. We then run this play to the right side, okay? Instead, Max Johnson keeps it, and he has that long run. So now we're just creating conflict, and the defense is on their heels. Third down, unbelievable throw to Jontre Kirkland. Fourth down, throw to Devonta Lee. Then, remember, this is 2nd and 3. They're still thinking, goodness, are they ever just going to run the football? No. We're going to hit you with these crossers. We got your safeties running side to side. We got your defensive ends on their heels. So the more you look at it, there's just so much more you can do with an offense when you have mobility at the quarterback positions. And this right here is what I'm talking about. So maybe this is something LSU thinks about. Okay, now, Carvis has brought this up, and a few of our other viewers, and, have brought it up as well. Cam Wire is really good on the right side. Okay, on the left side, not so much, but at right tackle or right guard, I could see Cam Wire. Now, when he stepped in for Dare Rosenthal at left tackle, he was actually pretty good. But still, on the right side, he stepped in for Chasen Hines to play right guard against Florida, and he was okay. And then at right tackle, where Chasen Hines, of course, if you've watched my content, you know how much Chasen Hines struggled last season. But some people have suggested pushing Austin Deculus inside at right guard and putting putting Cam Wire at right tackle. And I want you to watch this rep across the way, and then we'll break down the actual throw. So, Dare Rosenthal overall was really good against B.J. Ojulari. The one thing I would say that's interesting is a lot of defensive line coaches, and my defensive line coach as well, taught us that different defensive linemen have their different techniques. But when you're a right side defensive end, or if you're lined up on the left side, you want the opposite hand of the side you're on to be down. But B.J. Ojulari always likes to be in a right-handed stance, which, I just think as far as a get-off is concerned, I like having the opposite side. I like my opposite as a pass rusher. Now, once again, I am not Khalil Mack. I am not, J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt, or whoever. So my opinion is, not as valid as what their opinion would be, or Pete Jenkins or whoever. But, a lot of defensive line coaches say, you want the opposite hand down. But, Ojulari just did not, out of all the defensive end and linemen, it wasn't his best day at the office. And you'll see here, this is probably the best pass protection we've seen all day. TJ's pass protection in the second half, or in this quarter, was not that bad. And what you'll see here, look at this finish from Cam Wire. That is filthy. And he did have some help here from Anthony Bradford, and not that much. That's a filthy finish right there. Ojulari nowhere close. Good pass protection here. This is good stuff. That's a really good pocket. And then we get Jeray Jenkins on this crosser. And Jeray Jenkins was the crosser for most of the day. He mostly ran crossing routes. We didn't really get to see him get vertical. I know in the first half they tried to get him vertical against Dwight McLaughlin, and it was incomplete. Really good catch. Took the punishment. That's just really well done. Really good throw here by TJ. And the reason why this was a good throw is that he didn't lead him too far to where he would have been creamed right here. That's just good stuff. Overall, good rep from everyone. Sets up a 3rd and 1. Okay? We've not been able to run on short yardage all day. All right, let's see what happens here. Just had to run on short yardage, and we break through. Good job by TDP as well. Hopefully we get the end zone camera here. But this time in short yardage, Jake Peetz says, look, we can't run short yardage out of shotgun. So let's get under center and do it. And look, it makes it a lot better because when you're under center or if you're in pistol, at least you're handing the football off to someone that's able to go downhill, which is what we get here. So once again, let me let's see what happens here. It's easy to blame this on Damon Clark, but it's not him. Let's see. Joseph Evans going up against this double, this B gap. Is this on Ojolari? I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to say in this situation because your safety is so far up. We have so many guys committed to the line of scrimmage here, so it's kind of hard to say whose gap was responsible for who. So it looks as if Joseph Evans was responsible for this B gap and Damon Clark was responsible for this A gap. And maybe Ojolari should be 2 gap in here where he's responsible for both of these gaps. I don't know. Good job by TDP, though, for breaking this. And this is a thing, all right? And this is a criticism of running backs. You get a perfectly blocked play, all right? So every run play is designed to be blocked perfectly, always has one guy unblocked, and it's up to the ball carrier to make this guy miss, and TDP planting that foot. Look at this juke. Filthy. Look at how well he sells this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Good run by TDP. We make a safety miss and we get 8 extra yards. That is just excellent, excellent running back play. Boom. That's what I like to see. Plant and explode. It's just brilliant. Really good day from TDP, especially knowing how much weight he had to carry in this game. Really good stuff. And then we get TJ's second pick. Sting making football plays. Caught an interception in the spring game. His true freshman season going up against Terrace Marshall, and it's just a really bad throw from TJ. You just can't make this throw. The good thing is, this is a deep throw, and we don't get, an interception return here. So that's the only positive here. Eli Ricks there celebrating. I just love this. So what happens here? Okay. 1st and 10. Let's take a shot. We're in plus territory. We get chips. All right. This seems to be something Jake Peetz is going to be bringing to the offense, and I like it. All right. Nothing's open. Nothing's open. Let's just hit one of our playmakers here. You notice these are the buzzwords that we've heard TJ and all the quarterbacks say. Playmakers in space. Playmakers in space. Playmakers in space. You can't get any more space than this right here. Just check it down. Just look at this. Just check this down. This is not hard. This is not hard to do. Okay? Just check it down. And I got on Max for this same exact thing. This was the same play Max missed as well. This is not hard. And he did this in the first half, trying to force a football down the field. And I'll make the same joke, and only one of you commenters got this joke. You never know what's going to happen on a check down. He might take this ball and run it all the way into the end zone. He might take it, and who knows, the guy who tackles him rips his shoe off and chunks it 20 yards down the field, and you're winning a game on the road in Gainesville. Okay, hopefully you guys got that joke this time. I was wondering, no one else commented other than that one person. Just throw it right here. Instead, there's a safety over the top, and I understand this is Kayshon Boutte, and you want to throw the football up there and just hope your playmaker's going to make a play. But you don't want to do that when there's a safety over the top. If this is just Kayshon going up against, and this isn't even a safety, this is a corner over the top. If this is just Kayshawn going up against this one guy, this isn't a bad throw. But there's a corner over the top. All these guys deep are covered. And we throw it to the one guy that's really, really covered. Just throw it right here. Oh, just throw it right here. Don't throw it there. It's really bad quarterbacking. It really is. And I like TJ. This is year 2. And he's still young in his development. But let's not do, especially with Sting back there. We're talking the best corner in the game. Let's not do this. And his interception in the first half was bad, and it was very similar to this one, where he's just throwing these corner routes with help over the top. And you could really see it from this angle as well. Look, just hit Coy right here. That's no less than 10, 12 yards. Oh, maybe, no, I don't know. It's a really good play call, too. Let's take a shot on first down. Let's throw on first down. All right. Good play again. Max to Deion Smith. This could be a connection you see during the season. Got man coverage, and Devonta Lee was in a similar position. He couldn't get separation against Raydarius Jones. Look at the physicality from the freshman here. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. He took it to him. I wish Eric Crocker, he's my favorite DB analyst. I wish he could tell me if this is offensive pass interference. This is physicality. I like this Deion Smith. I like him. Max does a good job, lets him clear out. If for some reason this linebacker runs with him, we'll just go here. We let it clear out. Separation created. And this actually wasn't the best throw. It was behind him. And part of the reason why, and I'm happy Aaron Benfield got to play. This is a guy, one of those walk-ons that we were talking about in our film study breakdown of spring practice. I'm glad he's getting to play in Tiger Stadium. He's a guy that's never going to play in an actual game, maybe outside of special teams. And notice, Max throws it slightly behind him so he doesn't get hit by this linebacker. So it's not the worst throw, and we're moving the chains. And this wasn't Raydarius Jones. This was Darren Evans. So Max is on fire, and this is with the second unit. Okay, this is not the first unit. This is the second unit, and he is starting to light these guys up. He is white hot. Nothing he can do here, though. This is just Jaquelin Roy destroying, just destroying these guys. And we're even getting a chip here. I think this is Marlon Martinez getting whipped here by Jaquelin Roy. Good little swim move. This is what you want out of your 3 technique, a playmaker. Swim move right out of it. He fights through, and he makes a sack. Got to do better. Got to do better. And personally, this was my favorite move as a defensive tackle. Boom. Over the top. Just a nasty swim move out of a 3-tech. I think it's the most unstoppable pass rushing move. Having a good 3-tech right there, swim move over the top. And that's it. That's it. So Myles Brennan already in a hole from something that wasn't even his fault. It wasn't even Max's fault. I don't know what happened here. Let's see. Good job by... We get this... Good job by Myles to sidestep. Once again, just not the best day for Marcus Dumerville. Just giving up way too much ground. And he's going up against... Once again, this is Eric Taylor who was listed as a defensive tackle coming in. He played defensive end today. And this is not the best pass set. And Myles did a good job resetting. Your check down right here. There was just nothing there. And I think what happened here, and a lot of quarterbacks do this, notice this wasn't the prettiest ball here from Myles. And I think he just kind of choked up because he saw this safety running in here. And if he would have just thrown it regular, it would have been picked. So now it's 3rd and 17. Where's Justin Jefferson and Joey B versus Texas when you need them? Never forget 3rd and 17. All right. So now Xavier Carter is getting some pass rush rep. We get Maason Smith, Desmond Little, and boy Jaquelin Roy. Good job. There we go, Big Mace. That's the Maason Smith. That's the 5-star. That's what we want to see. And this group, the second group of offensive guards, is going to need some work. Kardell, who's having a good game, a decent game. We got 67 here. I believe this is Thomas Perry, and then our guy Marlon Martinez here at left guard. Let me make sure I get this right here. 7. Spencer Payne. So I'm sorry, Spencer. So, okay. So what happens here? So a twist is when the defensive end goes inside and the defensive tackle goes outside. Okay? Same thing here. A twist is when defensive tackle goes on the outside, defensive end goes on the outside. A loop is when your defensive tackles loop each other. And oftentimes, the looper is the 3-technique defensive tackle, which in this case is Maason Smith. So, Maason Smith from this 3-technique is going to come around this way. But in fact, that is not what happens. What happens here is Maason Smith is the guy that goes in. Jaquelin Roy goes out. So now your offensive middle here is in conflict. All right, and you got to pass these guys off. It's happening really fast. The first guy you got to make sure you block is the guy that's going through the initial A-gap here. And once again, it's a lot easier to run these games, twist and loops, against quarterbacks who can't run. A good example of this was LSU versus Florida. They were able to run stunts against Kyle Trask, and it gave Kyle Trask fits all night. So what happens here? Notice it seems as if Maason Smith is getting triple team, and Kardell Thomas is actually doing his job. His guy is going over here. So now it's up to Payne and Martinez to block these two guys. So Martinez comes off Maason Smith that picks up Jaquelin Roy. But the key thing is to make sure this guy stays blocked. Spencer Payne just cannot block Maason Smith. He's a far superior athlete. And this is the one time we got to see Maason Smith. And notice his athleticism. Because of the length of his arm, he's able to affect this throw. But a good job by Myles Brennan. It's 3rd and 17. Our pass protection's breaking down. Let's not just throw a duck deep. Let's just check it down. And let's just see if he can do something with it. And he does as much as he possibly can. Good to see Aaron Benfield making that tackle. 4th down. Punt. Now we get to see Garrett Nussmeier. What's up, Larisha? Thought Larisha did a good job on the sideline. Jay Alter and Tom Luganbill on the call. Same thing here on this first down play. Let's see. And this is, once again, our first team offensive line. Let's see who's in the game here. All right. Deculus is back in. What is going on in here? Man. I don't know. Ed Ingram really struggled against Neil Farrell, and we showed this in the first half. First half film study, Neil Farrell putting Ed Ingram on his butt. Same thing happens here, and I think he might have gotten, it's hard to see, he might have gotten stepped on. It's hard to see. He might have gotten stepped on, but you see here, Neil Farrell puts Ed Ingram right here on his butt, and this is actually a really good job by Ojulari attacking this pulling guard and squeezing down this play. You want to squeeze this down, and Anthony Bradford is a far larger human being than B.J. Ojulari. What we want here on this kick-out block is to get Ojulari all the way. I mean, we want to blast him out of there, but notice how quickly Ojulari reads this play, and he beats Bradford to the spot with speed. Notice how this is just really good defensive end play. So Neil Farrell dominating Ed Ingram right here at the point of attack. Then, while keeping contained, we squeeze this hole all the way down, and there's just nowhere to go. There's just nowhere to go with this football. Even if Garrett Nussmeier, for some reason, decided to keep it, here's Jay Ward right here. And it's just nowhere. There's just nowhere to go. Just nowhere. I'm not sure if our offensive line, and once again, you're going up against this defensive line 4 times over, okay? It's a scrimmage. They kind of know what you're doing, okay? But we're not moving anyone. We are not moving bodies. I might need another drink. This is the first beer. I'm telling you, first beers I've had in a while. Ugh. Okay. That's just filthy sting. I mean, look, I'm telling you, I can't quit smiling. This is Derek Stingley going up against one of the best wide receivers in the country. And I know they go up against each other a lot, and Kayshawn beat him in the first half. And that's what Nuss is doing. He's saying, look, I'm going to see if I can get Kayshawn open. He can't. Protection was decent. I'll give him decent. Ed Ingram going up against Glenn Logan. Not his best pass set here. And we're trying to check down to TDP. We're trying to get an angle route here. Jared Small with them step for step. And what some coaches do, and this was a Christian McCaffrey route, the angle route over the middle. Maybe Emery's a better receiver than TDP and you hit him over the top there. Some coaches do an option route where if the linebacker's playing you inside, you option out here. But notice Jared Small, inside leverage. Jared Small, the best linebacker on the field by a pretty wide margin. Just a good play. I probably wouldn't even have thrown this. And look, let's see. Let's see. Okay. So, this is hard for me to say because, Garrett Nussmeier is special when it comes to making plays on his own. He has the improvisational aspect of his game, something that Myles Brennan does not have. And he can run around and make plays. This is an opportunity where I would tell Nuss, look, you have decent protection, all right? Run around and do something here. Okay, it's 2nd and 11, 10:34 left to go in the fourth. We're deep in our own territory. Step up and see if you can, make a play. All right? Good pass protection overall outside of Ingram there on Logan. But step up and see if something else can open itself up. I would give Garrett Nussmeier just a little bit more leeway when it comes to things like this, as far as making plays outside of the structure of the play. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, motioning in, 3rd and 11. We got trips left. Ojulari in a standing. That's just a bad pick. Jay Ward makes the play and threw it at the offensive lineman. I don't know what he's doing here. That's just a bad pick. Cam Wire, your left tackle here. Ojulari, nasty spin move. All right, so same thing here. Okay, you're Garrett Nussmeier. All right? Don't throw this. What is he? Did he think Kayshawn was sitting right here on this? I don't know. Miscommunication is probably the case there. And obviously, Jay Ward wouldn't do this in a game. Don't do that. No, be a flag, but it's a scrimmage. So, if that's what was happening, well, once again, if you're Nuss, roll out of here. Make something happen. Do Nuss things. If you're not an in-the-structure type of player, if you're Aaron Rodgers, if you're Patrick Mahomes, be yourself. The one thing you don't want quarterbacks to be is a turnover machine. All right, Myles Brennan fired up. He wants to make a play. We're in plus territory. Trips bunch. So what did we do in trips bunch? We actually do bring a defensive back up here. And we try and run that same play, and that one should have been picked off by Derek Davis Jr. The route concepts are kind of weird on this, too. Notice all 4 other receivers were running to this side of the field. That is very unusual. Once again, LSU not trying to give too much away from the playbook. What's funny, though, is if there's actually a miscommunication here. If we hit the running back, there's no one over here. Not Myles' best decision. I know you want to take a shot on first down, but we move on. Oh, very interesting. So what does Jake Peetz do? Sometimes plays are designed to set up for the next play. So we do basically the same thing. We run all our guys here, and then we leak. That's very interesting. I like this from Jake. We do basically the same thing. We also had Devonta Lee on this crossing route here. We were talking about 5-man protection. This is what concerns me about 5-man protection. All right? And in this case, this is just 5-man protection because the running back leaks out. But what happens here, and Garrett Dellinger's probably not used to this, you remember earlier we were talking about trips bunch and these defensive backs were off? And Nick Saban talks about this as well. He likes the point man to be guarded by the defensive back pressing the line of scrimmage. Well, he said he likes to do all different kinds of stuff when defending trips bunch. But what makes it really difficult is the spatial awareness of the right tackle. It does change things a little bit. It changes that first step out of your pass protection. And notice what happens here. And what's funny is this is the exact play LSU tried to run against Missouri, and we did a Myles Brennan film study. And notice Dellinger struggles to get a good piece of Phillip Webb, who's a long, rangy athlete, And this exact throw against Missouri, LSU struggled to block this guy. And this was actually John Emery. And, we failed to complete this pass. And this is why Jake Peetz, we've seen this in every practice scrimmage, every practice release film study that we did. Jake Peetz was trying to get this connection down. The connection of throwing the quarterback throwing the football to the running back. And you notice what happened on first down. So on second down, Jake Peetz saw that and said, look, this guy's going to be wide open, which he was. But because the timing of it was off and, Dellinger couldn't get a decent piece of Webb, and Webb did a good job, mixing this up. If we complete this, even though Demas is our 8th or 9th string back, he catches this and gains maybe the first, or it just depends, at least 5, 6, 7 yards. Now it's 3rd and 10. All right. Xavier Carter, once again, situational pass rusher. And the last time we were in this situation, we looped these 2 defensive tackles. Let's see what they decide to do here. They do the same thing. They were going to loop. We were false start. Thank goodness we did not get a good jump here. A part of that was due to the false start. Okay. So we tried the loop again, and then there's procedure. Whatever. 3rd and 15. So do we do a loop again? We twist. That actually should have been caught by Jontre. This is a drop. That's a really good throw for Myles. Yeah, Jontre's got to catch that. I know he had a really good day, but did it get deflected? It's kind of hard to say. So instead of looping these guys, Andre Carter and Durante calls a twist. So Jaquelin Roy's getting this. Xavier Carter sells it, goes to the inside. Kardell not quick enough. Lots of traffic here. Good job. Jontre probably, it's kind of tough to say. Let's see if we get a replay. We don't. So, big pet peeve of mine. Even though this should have been caught, all right? This is something that we saw in the first half, all right? And I would like our philosophies on this to change, all right? We are at midfield. And as great of a kicker as I said Cole Tracy, Cade York is, and he's got a leg, and we know he can kick it from the logo. Understand time and place. I understand this is a scrimmage and you're not kicking field goals or whatever. Understand, if we hit a check down here, we're in decent field goal range, okay? Let's say you hit Alex Adams underneath here and he catches this and we get some yards out of this, okay? Maybe he has enough to get to the first down, but if he gets to right here, okay, once again, let's say Alex Adams catches his football and he gets to the 37-yard line, all right? The kick would be from this yard line, 7 yards back. So 54 or 44, it's a 54-yard kick. That is well within Cade York's range, okay? Especially on a good day such as this one with good conditions. Let's not force this ball here, okay? Should it have been caught? Yes, it should have been caught. Was it even going to Jontre Kirkland? I think so. No, I don't think it was going to Devonta Lee. But if we hit this guy right here, no, we probably don't get the first down, but maybe we can go for it on 4th down. Maybe we have enough to catch the field goal. The all-or-nothing attitude on 3rd and long in plus territory baffles me. I saw so many NFL teams do the same thing, and this was something LSU continued to do. We don't need to get all the yards here. And I understand it's just a scrimmage, but you have to scrimmage like you would in the game. Would you rather punting the football on 4th and 15, or would you rather having the opportunity to kick a field goal and get points, especially you're the purple team down by 2 and need a field goal to win it. I do like seeing Deion Smith, this is a freshman cheering on our guys. I like that. But you get the logic, right? This is time and place. Let's just hit this check down. And I know the referee was kind of in the way. You trust Jontre to make that catch? Still. Let's hit that check down. We continue. Oh, my cursor was kind of in the way. There we go. So just like what we said earlier with Max Johnson, when you have mobility at quarterback, you can do things. Sony Fanua, who's been dominating us all day, you can't be as aggressive as an end. All right? So now, what this is doing is creating conflict. That's the buzzword now on the Twitter coachosphere, or whatever you want to call it. So, look at what we're getting. We're getting levels here. First down, we can hit Cole Taylor here, or we could get to the second level. What a perfect throw this was. Back shouldering Kayshawn right here to where he's not getting hit. This is what, I mean, Garrett has really good feel for the game. And that is just excellent stuff. Same thing we saw with Max earlier in this half. This conflict. And I want you to notice, see how Fanua is coming straight at this? All right? In full speed. Okay? When you have a mobile quarterback, you have to change direction. So now, Sony Fanua on second down and the upcoming downs, he knows he can't be as aggressive because you have more contained responsibilities. Let's say he doesn't make this throw here and he just decides to tuck and run it. That's 5, 6, 7 yards. It's just good stuff. And if you want to get even more advanced, you can even throw the football into this space here to Coy Moore. I mean, there's so much you can do. Good. Nothing's there. Nothing's there. Just throw it away. There's some laundry on the field. Look at this. Oh, we get a replay here on second down of that play. Once again, this is my first rewatch. Good. And actually, from this angle, you see something. This is good football IQ right here. Cole Taylor gets just a piece of him to ruin his timing. I didn't see that from that angle. That throw, look at this. Running to his right, he's a little off balanced. Good Lord. Did he throw that off his right foot? Let me see. No, he's throwing off his left foot. God. Oh. Woo. Is this guy the starter? He's not the starter. The picks are too bad. But still. So now we're cooking. First down. This could be your first team wide receivers. Kayshawn, Dre, and Jontre. I mean, I know this was an incompletion, but this is still amazing playmaking ability. So once again, look, it's just one screen. Ed Ingram really had a rough day, especially in the second half. I don't know if he got tired, but this was just this is actually a pretty filthy move here from Joseph Evans. So he's playing this A gap, and the way this works is if this defensive tackle is on the outside shoulder of the guard, he's man-on-man against this defensive tackle, and this right tackle is man-on-man against this end. Obviously, Dare is man-on-man against this end. So, essentially, Ed Ingram and Liam Shanahan are blocking Joseph Evans. So Joseph Evans is an experienced guy. It's kind of hard to show this here, but what Ed Ingram is expecting Joseph Evans to do is just to try and run through this A-gap. But what does Joseph Evans do? He spins. You see that spin right there? Spins into this B-gap, and Ed Ingram, with some sloppy technique here, sat way too heavy on this A-gap, gets fooled by the spin move, and notice what happens here, okay? So, here's what you have to do if you're Garrett Nussmeier. Just sit in the pocket. Let's just check this down to Cole Taylor. Check it down. But because the penetration was so crazy, this was a move, when I was studying Garrett Nussmeier, his high school footage, this is a dangerous move, but it's also an effective move. The spin out to the left, this is something that Russell Wilson has really brought into the NFL. So, to prevent the sack, you spin out and you give ground right in front of Ed Orgeron here, and you just got to kind of do what you can out of it. So I remember seeing the other angle on this. So, okay, we don't get to see all of it. But once again, just hit Cole Taylor here on your check down. He's going to get hit immediately, but still, the pressure was just too much. And Nuss, and look at this throw, running to his left, and because they ran out of real estate, this is still a really good ball, but it's incomplete. So it's 2nd and 10. 2 good plays in a row by Garrett Nussmeier. Nice. Okay. That was a very Jamar Chaseian route. No separation, but he's so daggum good, you throw it to him anyway. And Kayshawn's so daggum physical, it didn't matter what Derek Stingley Jr. was doing here. I mean, just look at that. I mean, he's on him. Good stuff. So now we got 3rd and medium. What do? We throw this pick. All right. Oh. And we kept trying to run this route to Jure. Based on just a rough count, we were 1 for 4. Good hustle by Kayshawn to make this play. I'm glad he wasn't hurt. And a good interception by Jared Small. And we didn't see this, but his name, he was playing so daggum physical. His name, I saw an equipment manager try and fix it. His name ripped off the back of his jersey earlier. So they kept trying to do these double slants, and they kept trying to get it to Jure. And look, this is just so bad from Garrett, and it's such, novice quarterback play, and he's a true freshman, so I'm not trying to be too hard on him. But when look, Jared Small is even looking to see where Garrett Nussmeier is looking. If a linebacker is able to look this way while you're still looking here, and you still throw, guess what? You should not make this throw because, as you'll see from this angle, your eyes move this linebacker, and boom. We got our best player in stride here, but we stare down. And this is just rudimentary quarterback play. And Garrett Nussmeier's dad is a really good offensive coordinator. This is something that, even he could, teach him. I'm very novice when it comes to quarterback evaluating and film study. So this is something very fixable. Okay? Look this linebacker off. If this linebacker looks off, you got space right here. But, I mean, look, you just can't, come on. Come on. That's just bad. I understand you're trying to get the ball to Jure, try and get him going. And look, just look at how much his head is just locked. And the thing is, what makes this kind of tough, and the game is moving so much faster than it is in high school, is that it is on the eye of the tiger here, and the jerseys can kind of blend in, but still, that's just bad. And just the hustle by Kayshawn lets you know everything you need to know about Kayshawn's football IQ and hustle. in a spring game. Got kind of banged up. It was kind of an awkward fall. He didn't get the ball, but he still ran him down. And there it is, actually. It happened after this. Jared Small, his name ripping off the back of the uniform. I really hope Jared Small gets a chance to play some next season. So now, let's finish the drive. Nick Demas on first down. Okay, so remember what we were talking about earlier with mobility at the quarterback position? Guess who makes this play? The defensive end on the backside is able to chase this down. I think if Myles Brennan's going to be the quarterback, you gotta tell him to just keep this at least once or twice and pick up these 4 yards. Yes, it's not going to be dynamic. Yes, Sampa's going to tackle him immediately. Just tell him to keep it and just gain these yards right here because these defensive ends are just going to keep crashing down. Let's see how this side of the field was blocked. Jacoby and Guillory just blows through this double team right here. Okay, yeah, it's on Kardell. So, what Kardell's trying to do is get to the second level, all right? But before you get to the second level, we got to make sure this double team is blocked first. He doesn't do a good enough job of that. We're trying to get to the second level before making sure this is blocked. And Guillory makes this play along with Desmond Little. And Kardell did a good job getting to the second level and getting to this linebacker. Kardell beat again. He's had a decent game up to this point. He's just got no chance. He's got Myles. And look, and this is just a check we've seen all game. On 2nd and 10, something LSU does, and, you know, this is why people don't like seeing stuff on tape. Coaches are going to see on 2nd and 10, LSU, to help defend these B gaps where they were destroyed last season in the running game, they're going to stem their defensive line to help prevent that. That's just a bad pass set here. Jacoby and Guillory tearing up Kardell Thomas on 2 plays in a row. Good job. The young man out of Alexandria. And we know Maason Smith was a little banged up. Ed Orgeron said that after the game. So, 3rd and 16. We're the purple team. Okay? Field goal wins us this game, in theory. And Dumerville just really had a rough day at the office. And this is obviously a twist. We don't pass it off all too well. Give this up, and it's just easy sack. Okay? Twist. Okay, we picked this up. Now it's on Dumerville to stick with them. And once again, I really do think Marcus Dumerville can be an all-SEC tackle. I really do love this guy's game, and I loved watching him out of high school. St. Thomas Aquinas is where the Bosa brothers went to. And, you know, it's just, I mean, you want to run this guy, you want to run this defensive tackle all the way up the field, okay? But notice Jaquelin Roy, very experienced. They're in the same recruiting class. He does a great job. Look at this hand. Fending off that extended arm. It's just brilliant. Jaquelin Roy with the master class. I know they were highlighting Maason Smith, and you could see it a little bit better. Obviously, this angle is better to... All right. So, Kardell does a good job here. Now he knows he's got to fight back and help out here. You know, it's... So now, here's what we got to do. Just nothing. 4th and 25. Let's get this kick. And it's not good. from our backup kicker. Okay. Final drive, I believe. I think. I don't know. Coy Moore. Okay. Good job, Liam. Liam's best play of the day. All right. Anthony Bradford, what we need you to do. And this is a very difficult block. It wasn't his best. Neil Farrell actually misses his tackle. You'd expect him to make this play against a wide receiver. So we're trying to get Anthony Bradford. And this is such a tough block. You got to get across his shoulder and peel him inside. And Liam Shanahan goes directly to this linebacker. Liam does a good job helping the left guard, making sure we get Joseph Evans out of there. Good. This is Ed Ingram's best rep of this half. He's been struggling. Good job by Liam to help out a struggling left guard to get a piece. We seal him. This was a block we missed. We need Neil Farrell making this play. Liam gets to the second level. Good stuff. Good job by Jordan Tolles to run this down. Not bad. All right. So we run on first down, play action, pick it up, hit Jontre over in the middle. This is very simple, pitch and catch. Linebacker commits. So you know you got all the space. Could have hit Stores, could have hit any of these guys. Really good stuff. Let's keep it going. There we go, Kayshawn. Good job. Good job by McGlather not giving up, but the tie goes to the wide receiver. Now, this was interesting. Dare Rosenthal kind of got in a rhythm. He's rubbing his hands. I mean, look at that. And once again, Ojulari, not his, the defensive line overall had a good day. It wasn't his best day. And Rosenthal just eating him up. Look at this. This ball is in a tight window. Okay, so Damon Clark's got to make this play. All right, once again, Nuss is eyeing this receiver down the entire time. Clark's right there, and I understand you don't want a big collision against your own guy, so I'm fine with him letting that go. But in an actual game, if you see this, and I know you want to avoid targeting and all that stuff, but in an actual game, we need him to break this play up. You'll see it here. He's right there. And this is the same pick that Jared Small just made. Pick this off. Let's see if Jontre's going on a slant. Yes. Oh, he's not. Okay. That's not bad. Really good coverage by Dwight. Dwight gave up the deep pass to Kayshawn. And what's funny was on the deep pass, he was actually over the top of him. But this time, he's stride for stride. You would like to see him turn and look for the ball. Some referees would call pass interference there, but maybe the ball was uncatchable. So you want to see him turn and look for the ball. Not the best throw there from Nuss. Almost an interception. Good job. Good job by Nuss. All right, understanding personnel. So this was a play we ran on second down, and we threw it to Kayshawn. Okay. Nuss knows he has a wide receiver playing running back on the linebacker. Just toss it out there. Good stuff. Good positive gain. Now it's 3rd and 7. Well done. Well done, pass protection. Good job by Jure. I thought Jure had a decent day overall. Did a lot of the little things right. But notice, we don't get beat by the twist here. We have twist up here. We have twist up here. So, good job passing these twists off. Perfect. 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 It's good pass protection. Good hustle by Ed Ingram to come down there to see if he can get a piece of somebody. I like that. Now you're back to the line of scrimmage. We're in hurry-up mode here. Even though we have all 3 timeouts. Hit your check down. Good stuff. Now get out of bounds. Good job here by Nuss. Nothing's open. And this is the benefit. And maybe this is something that LSU thinks about during the season, okay? And Brooks Coblena wrote a good piece in The Advocate about, positionless football, about, wide receivers playing running back, which is something that, this was why I was so high on JoJo Earl coming out of high school. He played a lot of running back at Aledo High School. And, Coy Moore is nowhere close to the explosive playmaker JoJo Earl is. But, the good thing about having a wide receiver out of the backfield in these 2-minute sets, if he's decent at pass protection and he's got good hands, notice how much quicker he gets out of this. And you saw the struggle getting the football to TDP in these situations. And look at this. Catches, hands catch, and he gets upfield. Maybe it's something. Maybe Coy Moore can be, if he's not a starting receiver, be a 3rd down receiving back. Wouldn't be opposed. Boom. Final play of the ball game. Coy Moore gets rewarded. Once again, our analyst, and they're having a good time with the coaches or the players. All right. Garrett Nussmeier's playmaking ability. So let's take a look at this play pre-snap. Okay, so once again, it's the same exact idea. So Nick Storrs is your tight end here. And Coy Moore, this would normally be a running back. And earlier in the game, in a very similar situation with Max Johnson, we saw TDP and Kayshawn switch here. So this time they don't switch. And instead of having a running back, we have an extra wide receiver in a 2-minute situation. I see what this... So this was essentially like a small little pick play. And instead of these DBs switching off, this is kind of like a screen and roll in basketball. Okay, so these men don't switch, and Coy is left wide open. And you'll see it here on this angle a little bit better. My voice is sore. Maybe you see it here a little bit. No, you can't really see it. So notice the defensive back that was on Coy Moore doesn't run with them. Dwight sticks with Kayshawn, and Coy's wide open for an easy touchdown. Good throw, easy throw from Nuss, and that is your ball game.
At the LSU spring game, and I never saw it. There is a guy that wears a red hat on the LSU sideline, but he's an extra referee. He is the guy that tells referees when to go to commercial break. It's an actual thing at every college football game, and we actually talked about it in the last film study. So I thought that was who you were referencing, but now I see what you were talking about. Why is there a guy on the LSU sideline? I mean, you see a play sheet, you see Jay Ward. Why is that the case? Well, it's simple. This is, I believe, Dante Jackson of the Carolina Panthers and, of course, formerly of LSU. And this is why I think it's Dante. This looks like an iced out piece of jewelry, number 26. And that is Dante Jackson's NFL jersey number. One of you said, hey, Carter, I think Najee Harris was on the sideline. But this is the Atlanta Braves red hat without the clef here. So an Alabama Crimson Tide A has like a little clef. But this is an Atlanta Braves hat to obviously match his really cool Guns N' Roses shirt. But, you know, it is kind of interesting that out of all the things you could have chose to wear, you wore the thing that looks just like Alabama. And when you're at a game, you don't see the clef A. And also the Atlanta Braves base hat is a navy hat with a red bill. So there you go, Hatgate. I think it's great, though, that Dante Jackson came back to mentor some of the younger LSU defensive backs, because sometimes it's just, good. And, Dante obviously has a good relationship with Corey Raymond because that was his corners coach. So I think it's obviously great. And I bragged about Dante Jackson. I think he's underrated because he did play all the positions in the LSU secondary, and he did a really good job of it. Now, if that wasn't Dante Jackson, please someone enlighten me, because it's kind of hard with, mask and blurriness and different outfits. So please correct me if I'm wrong. And obviously comment and let me know on any play or evaluation from this film study. Please correct me, because I'm not Ted Wynn. I'm not Lance Zierlein, Brian Baldinger, or anyone like that. I'm not a wizard when it comes to football schematics. And once again, I don't have the all-22, which makes it harder to evaluate all of this. Now, with that said, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. I really thought the quarterback play was decent from all four, but Max and Myles didn't commit turnovers and the other guys did. That's an oversimplification of the quarterback's performances, but it's true. Then also, and I've shared this plenty of times, I freaking hate spring games. I freaking hate the idea that, you scrimmage against the same team over and over and over, and you don't actually play a game against another team. And this is something Mike Gundy's brought up. I've done 2 different videos on this very thing in the spring, and I think that needs to change because you don't get a good look. It's not good to see the LSU offensive line not actually face a blitz and have to just block pass rushers, which, by the way, they were very inconsistent in doing so. And I'll leave you with this. I just hope LSU thinks outside the box when it comes to putting the best players on the field, because there were times when I was watching this and knowing all what we watched last season, maybe the best offensive line is taking some of those starters out. You saw on that final drive, I like that Anthony Bradford at right guard and Cam Wire at right tackle offensive line. Maybe switching some of that up, moving Deculus to guard or somewhere else will do that unit some good. But obviously there's so many different things we can discuss as far as this film evaluation. And no matter what I say, I get called, I hate so-and-so, and you love so-and-so, and the bias is obviously there. I'm going to get accused. I'm fine with it, okay? That's the point of this. It's supposed to be fun, film studies, whatever. Once again, I can't monetize film studies. If you have it in your heart to Venmo, Cash App, or Super Chat, of course, feel free to do so. Like, share this video. And thanks, as always. This was a rough week to put this thing together while my best friend crossed over the puppy rainbow. Of course, Boog the dog. I appreciate all the dog stories on the live stream last night, and me and Haley, it really helped us cope. And we had some friends over last night, and we were able to read some of your responses. And they had they had no idea that this was a thing. These were two of Haley's friends, and they didn't know I did this. And they were like, wow, this was really cool that this community of you guys supported you during this tough time. So I really, really, really do appreciate it, guys. And you know, I know there's plenty of more messages that I missed and I haven't been able to respond to, but just know how much Boog meant to all of to you and to us, and she is in a better place now. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. I think we're actually having our paneer tonight because I know we did po' boys last night. Indian paneer. Let's go.